Okay, so here's what you need to know as a DPS tank when you have a heal tank running with you. The heal tank will be responsible for all of the aggro swapping. You do not need to concern yourself with it. That means that you don't need provoke, you don't need art of war, you don't need mass provoke, you don't need any kind of confuse like that. Have the heal tank go in first, because frankly they can heal themselves whilst the healers are getting into position. Give him a couple of seconds to let the Whisper of Darkness stacks tick down on him to a lower level if you can. If you pull hate early, it's not a biggie, but the lower the stacks of Whisper of Darkness get, the less damage they will do. So here the heal tank's going in, and on the right we should be seeing the DPS tank come in as well. Yep, there he is. So lots of single target attacks. You want nice high deep damage. Don't really need to be worrying about any AoE threat. The heal tank is handling all of that. Having snap aggro abilities like Stone's Throw is very useful for when you do want to pull hate off of the heal tank. Don't worry about your stacks Whisper of Darkness. The heal tank will be taking care of that. If they don't, take the piss out of them mercilessly. As you can see here, Lux is using several abilities which will up his DPS. Looks like he's running using Run Rampant as his builder, so nice burst builder. Also gives him a bit of evade. He's also using Consequence and Aftershock to increase the rate at which he applies Exposed, and he gets Minor Ward as well. So we're about to get to the point where we go into yep, here we go, Shadow out of time, and so the heal tank's going to drag it back. All that the DPS tank has to do is get back and hide behind the load of rocks as well, and then wait for the ads to come to the heal tank. Spam a nice AoE attack for doing some damage to the ads. This is one of the times when having your extra hate builder can be useful. So the first bird comes in and you want to use your snap aggro. That's Stone's Throw to get a nice big hit straight away. Rips it off the heal tank, and then you can just tank it where it is, facing away from the raid, whilst the heal tank buggers off and does what he needs to do with the second bird. As soon as the first bird goes down, run over, join in. Using Discord Rising is a great way of getting a load of stacks of exposed straight onto your target. If you are going to be hitting it hard, make sure to run around to the head of the bird so that it's not going to breathe onto the raid. Then go and stand near the heal tank again, so that when the bird comes up, it's basically coming straight to you. You don't need to run after the birds, let them come to you. Start spamming your high hate builder so that you get aggro onto you as quickly as possible, and then as soon as the bird changes its target to you, you're pretty much safe. Avoiding the wave here is the important thing, so Lux has actually nipped across to behind the police car there. The wave goes past, all of the ads are going for the heal tank, so you should be heading for the heal tank as well. Standing by the heal tank is a great way of making sure that there's stuff to kill, because everything hates the heal tank. Next bird comes in, and once again use Stone's Throw and then high hate builder, gets nice solid aggro on the bird, lets the heal tank then move away. Okay, coming up is the only slight danger point for the DPS tank really. If the Heal Tank gets really high hate on the boss whilst he's doing Whisper of Darkness. You may have a little bit of difficulty ripping the boss back off him. Standing in that circle is going to up your melee damage massively. That means that you should try and spend as much time in that circle as possible. If you stand in there, you won't have difficulty pulling the boss off of the heal tank and making sure that the heal tank doesn't go down to Whisper of Darkness. From there on, it's pretty much just as the same in the first phase. You don't need to stop your DPS at any point. Try and keep your center in the melee circle at all times. You don't need to stop DPS for the heal tank to take the boss off you. You should always have Whisper of Darkness on you, so you don't need to worry about the Shadow Out of Time. Just keep burning the bastard. Avoid the fists, just as standard, and just try and get as good a rotation, preferably using single target attacks because they do more damage. Don't worry about the zombies, the DPS should be handling them. You just focus on doing as much damage to the boss as you can. You don't need to worry about how much hate you're generating. You'll be generating a load by standing in that circle. Remember that when Shadow Out of Time, when Final Resort pops, it'll be under 5%, and you need to be ready to get out of the explosion zone for when that happens. So try and keep an eye on how much health the boss has. The heal tank should be able to call out when Final Resort is about to happen, and as soon as he does, rocket jump out of the way. So we're getting a Shadow Out of Time, which is a great time to get just some extra DPS in, and then immediately Final Resort. So we turn around and we jump away, and then be ready to get straight back in and do as much damage to the boss as you can before the entire raid gets wiped by Whisper. If you do all of that, it should be a nice smooth run.